Nothing. What? What is that? I can't believe all this was under the house. What was he doing here? Let's shed some light on this.
If you're listening to this, you are probably the person sent by the office to continue my investigation. Well, at least I hope. My name is Matthew Banks, and I started this work about a year ago. As stated in my previous reports, I infiltrated the lighthouse last month, but they just found out that a tape was missing, and I think they're on to me now. I used to borrow tapes during the night, but this time they noticed before I could bring them back. I didn't have time to use the new filtering machine, but I left a tape inside it with you. Since I have to leave, I prepared the way for you, and I have regrouped all of my ongoing work onto 3 different boards, each including a guiding tape. The first one gathers my studies on the audio signal coming from the oceanic floor, which was the reason our interest was piqued by St. Exel in the first place. The second board will give you more details on the local cult, whose believers call themselves the Devoted. The third board is about Operation White Medusa, which is probably why you're here now. We are now definitely forced to recognize that the village of St. Exel is the center of great political and scientific interest, as we first suspected. I hate to leave like this, but I'm afraid my time has come. During the last 2 weeks, the lighthouse had trouble acquiring new information from ashore. Apparently, some kind of technology has been jamming their signal. Is there some kind of expert trying to hack the operation? I'll leave it to you to find out.
What is this folder? I'll study that during the night. A bit of reading always helps.
In 1977, an ultra-low frequency sound was picked up by scientists south of the Atlantic Ocean. But no one succeeded in identifying the structural composition of this acoustic phenomenon, and many theories were put forward. Spy submarine, human aeronautical activities on the surface, or even tests of explosives resonating through the abyss. The case remained closed for 2 years until a second sound was recorded 2,000 kilometers from Namibia. This time, the subject worried specialists. The position of the two recordings suggests the movement of something. In 1984, the sound was picked up again, several times around the Bermuda Triangle. Governments in many countries decided to classify in 19 by scientists south of the Atlantic Ocean. But no one succeeded in the structural composition of this acoustic phenomenon, and theories were put forward. Spy submarine, human aeronautics on the surface, even explosives. The case took 2 years until a second sound was recorded 2,000 kilometers from Namibia. This time, the subject worried specialists. The position of the two recordings suggests the movement of something. In 1984, the sound was picked up again, several times around the Bermuda Triangle. Governments in many countries decided to classify all information about this issue as confidential, and the general public was kept away. While tracking other countries' progress, our secret services discovered in '86 that the French government was particularly interested in the matter, and that they put in motion a special program called Rorqual, a scientific project mainly dedicated to the understanding of unknown oceanic noises. We then decided in 1987, based on what we found in the village of St. Exel, and considering that this last signal was recorded off the coast of French Brittany, that it made perfect sense for me to start our investigation here. During my time, I discovered a platform for listening and monitoring seismic activities at the heart of the lighthouse. Only recently, and thanks to an information trading deal I made with the cult, I got myself recruited there as a maintenance agent. It allowed me to find that the lighthouse crew is, in fact, following the movement of an object which turns out to be a French military submarine. So was it only a submarine that we tracked from the beginning? But its movements are inconsistent. How did it produce this noise that we regularly pick up? I copied a lot of tapes and left them inside the hideout, but they're all still encrypted. I was hoping to get more information from it, but I spotted a car in front of the house tonight, and it's clearer than ever now that my... Infiltrating the cell in the heart of the lighthouse made me realize that the French government is very concerned about the development of the situation here in St. Exel. The development of the sect, as well as the growing anomalies observed in the population and nature, are monitored in a sustained manner. They came to realize that if they do not act, this situation I had in my hands documents detailing an operation called White Medusa, the purpose of which was to methodically isolate and capture the village. Do they think that the people here are all sick or contaminated with something? Or do they mean to sweep this affair under the rug? They seem to foresee two possible scenarios for carrying out Operation White Medusa. As if by coincidence, there are incidentally two events which attract almost all the population in the same place. The village festival, which takes place during a whole weekend, or a fair organized by the village school. I was able to reconstruct on the map the assaults considered in each of these possible scenarios. A large number of troops will be deployed, and they can easily prevent anyone from escaping by blocking the main accesses and roads. They will proceed using heavy trucks and toxic gas to control and direct the crowd toward them. The inhabitants of St. Exil have a Damocles sword over their head, but they don't know of its existence, nor when it will fall. In many areas, the life in St. Exil has deteriorated sharply in recent years. Local studies tend to show that nature has adopted an abnormal behavior. Some species started proliferating more than before, while others suffered the opposite effect. Some animals became aggressive towards humans, and some bird species completely migrated and left the region for good. We've also seen a lot of upheaval in the behavior of inhabitants of the village and their health. Ultimately, it led to many people leaving, which left only the ones who didn't have a choice. A real change is taking place, and no one seems to understand where it's coming from. Additionally, these extraordinary happenings in the region, which isn't improving the situation. The village has become a place of attraction for people bathed in pseudosciences, esoteric and the occult, to say the least. They now see this place as a central home to their mythology. One movement eventually took over the others and established itself as the popular cult, the Devoted. They managed to obtain this importance by being omnipresent in their protests. They vandalized sites in large areas surrounding the village, which made the local press very keen on showcasing them, and ultimately helped a great deal in converting more people to their cause. According to my research, it is governed by a certain Aurora K. I couldn't find a lot of information regarding her, but managed to steal some pictures by following her after a public meeting with the population. She built her movement on the belief in the existence of an abysmal entity which would sow its harmful influence over the region and towards the inhabitants of St. Exil. To calm this underwater entity, they tirelessly seek the culprits for this curse. They unearth and send ashore on deteriorating ships coffins containing the bodies of people who have always lived here. If the boat returns and runs aground on the coast, the person and their family are pardoned. I haven't seen it yet, but it looks like they've shifted into high gear by sending people who are still alive to sea. These are just rumors, and people who go missing may have simply decided to leave the area. They never communicated their plans with me regarding the future of their protests, and I'm not sure where they'll meet yet. My theory is that they'll probably regroup either near the White Manor or the local church.
Wait, the gem I have attached on my bracelet? Where did he find it? He was apparently willing to ship it to be analyzed? Passports? Money from different countries? This man was not your usual anybody. Oh. And there's also boat tickets to leave for Plymouth, England. He was planning on leaving. Just wasn't sure when.
If you're listening to this, you are probably the person sent by the office to...
Nah. Maybe later. It looks like some of Pierre's homemade music for me. I thought it was lost since the moving in. Nothing. Honey, I finally finished my restoration project for this arcade machine. And I've got a challenge for you. I know you love a good one, so try to beat my best score. You will win something I'm sure will bring back good memories. I'm sure I know what it is. I could attach it to my gun.
C'est toi ou c'est moi qui part premier. Seulement ta
Damn it. Damn it.
Retrouver par terre les idées en l'air.
take the bus. This suit. I was in the attic with him when everybody disappeared. I remember wearing it, but we just had one. My lava lamp. I love it. Pierre probably hid it here, out of reach. Can't believe he'd think it's just a passing trend. Poor guy never understood anything about home decor.